Hello and welcome to another episode of Grammar and Thongs, where we look at one little area of language and explain the rules so that hopefully you use it correctly in the future. Today we're going to talk about when we should use the word who, when we should use the word which, and when we should use the word that, which does seem to confuse some people. So what I'll do is go through the rules here and then we'll apply the rules to this little example, and hopefully that will clear everything up. First of all, the word who. When we use the word who, we know we're referring to a person. Now you can also use the word that to refer to people in some situations, but that can also be referring to things or objects. So the good thing about the word who is we know that you're talking about a person. So we prefer who in that situation. And then we've got the word that and which, and this is the one that confuses people the most. When we use the word that, what is coming next in the sentence is some essential information. In other words, if we took out the information that came after the that, then we would change the meaning of the sentence, or we would lose the meaning of that sentence, and it will become something else. So that's what we call a restrictive clause. It's introducing a restrictive clause. Whereas when we use which, we're introducing what we call a non-restrictive clause. In other words, it's introducing some extra information, some additional information. And if we took that information out, then the sentence would still make sense. It just wouldn't have as much information, but the core meaning of the sentence would not have been changed. Now, I've got a little asterisk there because a good trick to work out whether you're using the correct word or which one you should use is to remember that when you use the word which, it should be followed by a comma if it's at the end of a sentence, like the bit that comes after it, or two commas if it's sort of inserting information into the sentence. A bit like how we use brackets, and you could also use brackets when you had the word which. So let's go through our example and then I'll explain when we get to these three words in the example, and hopefully you'll have a clear understanding. A teacher that works at our school says we can't play games which feature violence during class. Online games that we all have on our phones are also banned. So, at the beginning we have a teacher that works at our school. Now, strictly speaking, that's not completely terrible from a grammar point of view, but we prefer the word who because that's the one where we always know we're referring to people. It wouldn't really matter too much in this case, but let's go with who because it's the preferred word. A teacher who works at our school says we can't play games which feature violence during class. So we've got this word which here. Now, according to the rule, we need which when we're just introducing additional information that we could get rid of, and the meaning of the sentence would be the same. But if you read that first sentence, the really important bit is that the students are banned from playing games featuring violence. Okay, they mightn't be banned from playing all games during class. They might be allowed to play literacy games, for example. So this is essential information. Okay, if it's essential information, then it should be the word that. So we're going to make this that, and it's not which anymore, so we're going to get rid of these commas here and here. And so now we've got a teacher who works at our school says we can't play games that feature violence during class. That's better. Last sentence. Online games that we all have on our phones are also banned. So in this second sentence, the essential information is that online games are also banned. The fact that they all have them on their phones is additional information. Online games are banned, whether they're on their laptops, whether they're in the library, or whether on their phones. So this information here is not essential information, it's additional information. So if it's extra information, we should be using the word which. And yes, we do want the commas because we're sort of inserting that information in. If we took it out altogether, it would still make sense. Online games are also banned. So now we've got two sentences that make sense clearly. Our information is clear and we're communicating our meaning. So just remember that you need to look for the commas or brackets if you're using which. If it's essential information, you would change the meaning if you got rid of it. You want the word that. And if you're referring to a person, you want the word who. Thank you.